I thought of a question this week, and it's on a topic that I heard of a lot throughout the past couple years, but it's been quieted down recently. It's the impact on climate change. There was a big focus on it a couple of years ago, but it seemed to have been faded to the background. So I wanted to ask, is it still a huge issue that we still have to worry about? And so I sifted through the internet, and I settled on a site called climatenasa.gov, which had plentiful information on it. And initially scientists attributed global warming trend to around the mid 20th century when human expansion caused a so-called greenhouse effect. This greenhouse effect is when warming of temperatures around the globe is when the various gases that we produce and produce naturally trap in heat or solar radiation that is reflected naturally throughout space. So that is trapping in the temperature. Various chemicals that attribute to this which is water vapor, which is one of the natural greenhouse effects, which is most plentiful. Clouds keep in solar radiation and heat, which is a big contributing factor. Another one, which I'm sure you all have heard of, which would be carbon dioxide. This is given naturally as we breathe and as different animals breathe as well. And as fires burn, and we also burn it through fossil fuels. And we've actually, in the last century, we have increased the amount of fossil fuel in the atmosphere by 1/3 of the original amount, which is a big contributing factor to this overall heat shift. Methane is also a different one. This is produced both through natural sources and human activity, including decomposition of wastes in landfills, agriculture, and especially in rice cultivation, as well as the digestion of manure, decomposition of manure. And a different one, which would be nitrous oxide, a powerful greenhouse gas produced by soil cultivation, and especially the use of commercial soil factories, which is the non-natural soil that we do that increases the nutrients in the ground. That gives off a lot of this chemical. And there's also chlorofluorocarbon, which is a synthetic carbon, which we have created for various production of different agricultural things, like big power plants use this. And it's been regulated because we found out after we started using it that it was destroying the ozone layer that was holding in all of the heat. So that was kind of destructive to the planet as a whole. And a group of scientists wanted to know how much we actually contributed to this global warming. And over 1,300 of them sat down all over the globe and researched the temperatures and the increases, and they found a cumulative of around 95% accuracy that we were the cause. But there was also this big uproar of, it's not us, it could just be the sun. And so I went into depth of looking for the sun, which frankly was also on the same site, which just had to click different tabs to get there. It's scientists, if the sun would have contributed, the sun's activity would have to increase, which in the past 50 years it hasn't increased at all. And then they look back further, which is from the 1750s, the sun has stayed constant. So that hasn't increased at all. And if warming were caused more by an active sun, then scientists would expect to see warmer temperatures on all layers of the atmosphere. Instead, we've only observed cooling in the outer atmospheres where it's supposed to be, but all the heat is trapped in the inner, which is where all the chemicals settle. And so yes, this is a problem still that we need to try to address. And I figured that I would have to look into the effects of said thing if it's not addressed soon. And the effects would be rising sea levels, which would lead to coastal flooding on the eastern seaboard, especially in Florida and areas near the Gulf of Mexico. Forest, farms, and cities will face troublesome new pests, such as more algae coming out of the thing, so it would increase the bug count and increase various sicknesses and illnesses. It would actually destroy many fisheries. It would destroy some agriculture that would be around the coast, and it would flood a lot of the cities that are around the coastal area. And this also would heat up around the tundra area, which would destroy habitats such as some leopards, some goats that would also live there, and there's even insects that live specifically to the colder climates that would be destroyed if this were to continue. So this is is still a problem today that we're trying to face to the best of our ability, but we still need to focus on it and keep it in the forefront of our mind.